You ever get that feeling something is following you? Unfortunately, I got that feeling right now.
Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, orang pendek, hairy man. All over the world there's different names to describe a very similar thing. Wandering around in the woods, in untouched wildernesses of the world. The Pacific Northwest started with Sasquatch. Became famous here in Northern California, Bigfoot. When they started finding these very large footprints all over their construction equipment. These newly paved roads, they cut deep into these forests, come back out the next day, and the footprints all over the site, big ones. So they called it Bigfoot. Soon after, Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin came out here horseback on a newly dug out logging road. And that's when they filmed female Sasquatch walking.
Bigfoot capital of the world, Bluff Creek, Northern California. I'm going to walk the forestry roads where apparently the Patterson Gimlin footage was shot just nearby. And I'll spend some time camping in the area. So let's do it.
Spoke to one person who told me an area to go check out, so that's what I'm doing.
Could always just walk these roads too. That show, Survivor Man Bigfoot, was filmed just south of here in Hoopa Indian Reservation. But of course, I am here because of the world famous Patterson Gimlin footage was shot here on Bluff Creek. The famous shot where the Bigfoot's walking like this, you know, the swinging arm, that's that shot. And that was here. Which makes this the Bigfoot capital of the world. That's what started the whole thing. So when you come out here, there's a few things that you can be doing. That Bigfoot researchers will tell you should be doing according to their own level of success. And one thing that has a lot of success is tree knocks on the side of a tree. A lot of people think that's how they might communicate with one another. So you can sometimes get a response by knocking on a tree. Other people do whoops, you know, like an ape.
because whatever you think they might be, if you do believe in them, we pretty much all agree that it's pretty ape-like. Let's try a whoop. Of course, you can't just get out of the car and find a Bigfoot. That's not how it works. I'm definitely someone who's always been interested in the topic of Bigfoot. Thought I heard something. I'm definitely always someone who's been interested in the topic of Bigfoot ever since I saw that footage when I was young with my dad, my brother, sitting at home watching that, and I feel like it was also like included in the beginning of the X-Files with the cool music. It made me so interested in the unknown, and that's what Bigfoot represents, because there's a big unknown, and it also represents our connection to nature that we as a society are only growing further and further apart from. So imagine if there was another hominid species that didn't die off, that wanted to remain hidden, that is relatively intelligent compared to us, but has completely evolved in a different direction to be one with nature, pick up on the subtleties of the forest. If it wanted to remain hidden, it absolutely could remain hidden. Not gonna lie, I fully thought that was Bigfoot. It's like all I'm thinking about right now. And then I just see this big, hairy thing running through the woods. What else are you gonna think of? You're up here at Bluff Creek. It's a black bear. Maybe that's what people are seeing every single time all over the world. Okay, I officially have no clue where I am. Okay, stopping here. If you look that way, that road is really looking in bad shape. Rocks everywhere. So, yeah, this might be the end of the line here. That was some sketchy driving. I must have taken a wrong turn, which is good for finding Bigfoot. Bigfoots love when you're lost. If this is the perfect video, you'll see one over my right shoulder at some point. That'll be some famous footage. John Bendernig, a wildlife biologist, dedicated his life to researching Bigfoot. Was convinced that there were like a couple thousand in North America alone. So this is the spot to be. Northern California, lost on a logging road. Woo! Yeah, this is Bigfoot country. screams that seems to be widely reported all over the world. It's weird that like these places that were completely separated would all have such similar reports on behavior. Bending over trees, that's all behavior of great apes. Curiosity, coming in close to campers at night. If they do exist, the idea of Bigfoot messing with campers at night in their tent is just the scariest thing to possibly think of when you're alone. On Bluff Creek in a tent. We're just alone on Bluff Creek. There's nobody else up here. Recording myself as much as possible in case I hear anything. Definitely feels very lonesome up here. Very lonesome. There are a ton of black bears out here. Keep seeing them. That's the third one I've seen in the last few days. If you watch my other videos, you know I'm an avid backpacker. In fact, I was just backpacking this morning at Redwood Creek. So just got out of that and I came straight over here to Willow Creek. So I spent a lot of time in the woods, deep in the woods. Spent a lot of time alone in the woods. That last backpacking trip I just did was 3 days solo in Redwood National Park. So being alone in a tent is no stranger to me. That didn't sound good. All right, found my camping spot here. Got a little fire ring, if you can see it. Super quiet here. I gotta say, it's pretty creepy. If Bigfoot exists, man, they are in those hills. They are in those hills. These hills, I'm right in it right now. My tent's just back here. We'll see what happens. Well, good morning. It was a quiet night, nothing to report. My
I think I gotta pack up and see what else I can see here in the Bluff Creek area. Maybe go up some logging roads, maybe check out the Patterson Gimlin film site, and who knows.
All right, I'm back up on one of these logging roads. I think I may be near where the Patterson Gimlin footage was shot. But either way, this is a good place to be. It's in Monday, so nobody's around. It's funny, when I actually talked to this woman working at the Bigfoot Museum in Willow Creek, I told her I was going to be looking up on these, these logging roads up here in the area of Bluff Creek, and she said, oh, they love the logging roads. That's where everybody sees them. Just like everybody who comes in here is telling me about their stories up in this area. But I'm also thinking, like, anybody who's coming to this area and going to that museum is coming here for a reason. They're looking for it. So if you travel to Bluff Creek from wherever looking for something, it's going to be at the top of your mind. So any little sound you hear, you can be like, oh, Bigfoot, Bigfoot, Bigfoot. In reality, like, I've seen a ton of bears already, which is a little sketchy. That could be, something that people think they're seeing, especially when they stand up. I'm really, experienced with wildlife. If I see a black bear moving in a distance through the woods, like, I'll know what that is. But if someone just comes up here, they haven't seen a bear before, they don't see that many bears, they might think that's what it is. Or some of these sounds you hear, like the vocalizations, I can just write off as like an owl, or these weird birds. I mean, I was up in the Adirondacks and I heard like a sound I never heard before, but it sounded like an offshoot to like a loon. And I know, like, if you never heard a loon before and you're in the woods looking for Bigfoot, you heard a loon, you'd be like, oh my God, that was Sasquatch. Because they make the scariest, almost like haunting call. There's some things that are hard to explain, and that's what I'm interested in. I know that, there's a lot of skeptics out there, but guess what? It's more fun to believe. So, I'm up here, Bluff Creek, and let's explore the logging roads. So this book here, The Hoopa Project by David Paulides, he spent a lot of time in the Hoopa reservation researching the topic and talking to locals. So check out this book. All right, I'm officially squatching. This is awesome. So what I'm gonna look for, I'm just gonna be quiet. I have to watch out for bears. Wow, it's the biggest pine cone I've ever seen. To watch out for bears, but just looking for like tree breaks. Some people say that they use that as a means of communication, or to say like keep out type thing. I know all this sounds crazy if this was your first Bigfoot video, but that's what they say, tree breaks. Then have this for tree knocks. I've learned in the past this makes a really good solid sound. Piece of firewood. I'm also obviously looking for footprints. I'm not that good at that stuff though. I spent a lot of time in the backcountry and I've seen so few like bear footprints. So I'm missing them because they're there. Well, what does that tell you? I don't ever see bear footprints, but I'm going to see a Bigfoot footprint. Probably not. So this right here is some bear scat. From what I've heard, the chances of some type of interaction or experience are much higher when you're alone, which makes sense. Less of a threat for them to potentially come in closer. So here I am alone, seeing what happens. Chances are this one came down for a very natural reason. You can tell by the way it's split up there. Okay, this one might be interesting, might not be. That one back there, not so much, but this one here, it's kind of just lying here. Almost like it was placed here. Obviously humans do a lot of work in and out of here, but as you can see right there, cut log,
I'm looking up above and there's no real, didn't fall from these trees. These trees are too small. Well, that one's a little weird, right? Unless that's just rot. Let's take a look. I know a lot about wildlife, but not so much, you know, how trees typically fall. But it does look like a break up there, very much so. Doesn't look like it's split. It does very much look like it was almost snapped off. And then zoom out. So I don't know. That might be a little squatchy, or it's just a tree that fell over somehow. And one of the many ways the trees naturally fall over. See, what's good about going up into these Bigfoot areas is that you can afford to be quiet. Like, I'm not going up into Alberta and, you know, sneaking around the forest, not making noise. It's too dangerous around grizzlies, but no grizzlies here in Northern California, not for a long time. Pushed out a long time ago. So I should also mention that this is fantastic mountain lion habitat. So I gotta be careful out here. Usually you're in the most danger with mountain lions if you're small or doing what I'm doing right now, crouching. But I'm a big guy and you know, there's not much you can do to prevent a mountain lion attack. If they want to attack you, they're going to attack you. And then rangers will always tell you to just fight back. Yeah, fight a mountain lion. Sounds good. A lot of people think that Sasquatch migrate from place to place, making them even tougher to track or study. Well, an animal that moves around that much is impossible. Those are the ones that we've had the most difficulty filming. Tigers cover a great amount of land, and they're so stealth. A lot of cats will use rocks. They won't even walk in the mud or the dirt. They'll go from rock to rock to rock to hide their tracks. So picture a human-like species with its intelligence who wants to remain hidden. Ooh, baby. A lot of time, birds and squirrels and everything, they just totally give off like these warning signs all across the world. Meerkats do it. I forget what the type of deer are called in India. And the monkeys do it too. Scream when there's a tiger. Warn everything else. These birds do it too. Squirrels do it too. Red squirrels specifically. So if there's something out here that knows those sounds and what they could mean, you know, they have plenty of warning, someone in the area. See, you wouldn't be able to drive up here if you wanted. This is an old tree covering this road. So it's been here a while. It's also an example of a natural tree fall. Just, or it's all natural. But this one definitely is. It's just old, so people haven't driven up here in a long time. Well, Bigfoot or not, this is absolutely gorgeous country. It's a cut log, 3 rocks on it.
point for me as far as I'm going to go. I'm at least 3 miles in. I still got to go all the way back. But we'll hang out here, have some food, just chill for a bit, see if something maybe feels comfortable with me. You got the view of a lifetime over here. Well, this is just too good of a spot to not do a Sasquatch howl. I don't know how much success they have. It doesn't seem to be that good. But it makes you feel proactive. And this is such a good area to do it. I'm a little sketched out about doing it because I'm just all alone. I want people to hear if there's anybody nearby. I don't think there's anybody anywhere nearby. But just in case they are, I could scare them. But I'm about to do a call that, you know, you can look up. Sometimes they hear these animals in the woods making these screams, so that's what I'm going to do. See if I can elicit a response. Really echoed. So yeah, I think I've come about as far as I can go. All alone up here. It's pretty awesome. Just kind of chilling, being quiet, casual, seeing if anything moves in. Tell you what, doing this at night, that'd be epic. I would love to do that. As crazy as that sounds, because you know this is crazy to probably a lot of people, including my whole family. But yeah, you know, this is such a dream come true for me, so I need to remember this forever. So I'll just sit here, chill for a little bit. That call I just made, anyone and anything now knows that I'm here. I just want to read this paragraph from this book by David Paulides in relation to the Patterson Gimlin footage, which is the reason why I'm here. Here's what it says. It says the Bigfoot was walking on 2 legs, had very long arms, black hair covering its entire body and face, mosquito bite, and large breasts were visible. Experts have reviewed the footage extensively and guessed the creature was 7 feet, 3 inches tall and weighed in excess of 700 pounds. Since the initial footage of Bigfoot was shot, the film had been reviewed and seen by thousands. In the last 10 years, experts have digitized and slowed the film for review. The footage now shows that the creature appears to be carrying something in its left hand. It also shows muscles moving in the right thigh as the creature puts weight on that leg, and muscles can be seen in the right shoulder area as it moves its arms. Movie experts from Disney and other top labs at the time stated that they did not have the expertise to build a costume that was able to expose muscle as in the Patterson Gimlin movie. Professors who are experts on body movement have stated that there is not a human in existence that can move and walk in the manner that the creature did on tape. 40 years after the filming of the movie, this still stands as the greatest footage in existence of a Bigfoot. Ooh, baby. Alleged Sasquatch hair samples inspected by FBI laboratories resulted in the conclusion that no such hair exists on any human or presently known animal for which such data are available. That's true. I remember hearing that hair samples have been taken from Washington State, and it basically just says this is no known animal. Between the footprints, the hair samples, the eyewitness accounts, the credible, forget about the bad ones. I mean, people watch stupid shows or hear some ridiculous story, I said Sasquatch, and you just like write it off. But listen to the credible reports from police officers, mayors, army personnel, people who spend their lives outdoors, wildlife biologists, who have all had experiences all over the world reporting similar
characteristics. Put all those together and you start to maybe think that something is out there. And if it's out there, it's here, where I am right now. Okay, just about ready to turn around, head back. This is an awesome spot. Things did get a bit quiet and creepy there for a little bit. Just when I get lost, you know, I'm reading the book, getting lost in that, and then I forget I'm totally alone up here on this mountain. I mean, it's a Monday morning. There's nobody around. So, gotta walk several miles down this dirt road back to the car. We'll see what happens. Well, I think I have just about peaked in my Bigfoot phase of life. I mean, I'm walking with a knocker in one hand and a Bigfoot book in the other. Walking down a dirt road in the backcountry of Bluff Creek in the Six Rivers National Forest. All right, I just heard what sounded like 3 whoops in the woods. Could have been an owl. It's the middle of the day though. I mean, it's 12 noon. I don't think it's unheard of to hear an owl in the middle of the day. Could be perfectly normal. But it also sounded a little different than an owl. But it stopped me in my tracks. It came from that direction. Shh. These freaking bees are so loud. With an owl, I feel like you would continue to hear it hooting, right? It's usually like a continuous thing that goes on for a little bit. But this wasn't that. Okay, I think things are getting a bit squatchy right now. I'm a little nervous to keep walking towards the sound. But this is the way back. I mean, if I did like see something right now, I don't know what the hell I would do. Probably poop myself and cry at the same time. Because like as soon as it gets creepy, like right now, that's when you're like, oh man, I really don't want to see anything. Or do I? I don't know. You ever get that feeling that something is following you? Unfortunately, I got that feeling right now. So I'm putting the camera like this to film behind me. But it's pretty creepy. Like I have chills. Creepy feeling stopped. Maybe that was just because I was reading David Paulides' The Hoopa Project book. Or I was creeping myself out, or what? I don't know. Or that was legit. It was also around the same time that I was hearing those sounds. So it's definitely getting windy right now. So it's like now if you hear like sounds or even a knock in the woods, you can write it off. It's windy.
Look at all that forest behind me. All those mountains all covered in huge redwoods. That is epic forest that just goes on forever in every single direction. If something large wanted to live out here and remain undetected and was intelligent, it absolutely could. Does it mean that they exist? No. But is it possible for something that size to exist out here undetected for as long as they have? 100%. Ask Jane Goodall what she thinks about that very topic. Also with apes, a lot of times, you know, the only way to see them is for them to get familiar with you. Explorers will go into the jungles for days looking for gorillas. Nothing. It's only until once you're there for a while, typically, that they start to get closer and allow you to even come remotely close to them. So that's already ape-like behavior. And if this species is still alive, its existence to this day is totally reliant on its ability to remain undetected. So I think the best way to have an experience is to be up here for days. Maybe at the same campsite for days and days and days, and then maybe they start to, you know, see that you're not a threat, see what you're all about, and you got to do it alone. That's my take. See, that's what a natural tree break looks like. And not so, you know, like clean cut almost. Looks splintered everywhere. Of course, as any experienced hiker or backpacker will tell you, hiking through blowdown is like constant. Trees fall in all kinds of crazy ways. I didn't realize how close this one was to that other one I just filmed. This is the one that I filmed on the way in that, you know, looked relatively snapped that high up, out facing the road. But that other one I just filmed is less than 100 yards up the road, facing the same direction. You ever seen a pine cone this big? What? It's banana land. That's why this place is another planet. What do you think? It's another one. Just broken at a weird spot. Bit of a coincidence, everything's facing the same way. So out that way, you know, all the wind would be coming from that direction this way towards the road. So, you know, it makes sense that they would be all down in one direction. But it's just weird if it's broken so high up. Like halfway up where the tree is really thick. It's not like it's split or bent. You know, wind or snow should bend it over and then snap. And then, but it wouldn't be such a clean snap that high up. See, that's what a natural split looks like. Alrighty, I'm debunking this one that I filmed on the way in. It's blocking the whole road, two of them. But go over here, you can tell that it's split and fell into the road. So anybody who attempted to drive up this road as far as you can probably grabbed it and just tossed it to the side. And that's why the bigger end is leaning out that way. Because otherwise it should be reversed if it fell naturally and nobody touched it. But someone probably threw it to the side to try to go around in a car, I guess. Of course, whoever drove up here and moved the other tree didn't care about this one. Keep moving. Keep going. Yeah. I can't believe how many bears there are out here. Keep going. that bear came back out, he just stared at me as I'm yelling at him. He wouldn't move. Eventually he ran off, but he keeps coming back. Hey now. Keep going. Black bears, you were supposed to be loud. So keep going. It's kind of concerning that he stood there as I was yelling at him. I even put my arms in the air, tried to make myself look big. He went down that way. There are a lot of bears out here. Hey, hey, there he is. Keep going. Keep going. All right, I have made it back to the car. That was incredible in every way. It was probably about 6 miles round trip up this dirt roads blocked off by the gate, so people aren't really driving up there. Of course, I just ran into that black bear here at the last second. Walking into this, I didn't know what to expect, but by the end of that hike, I did notice there are a lot of trees that snapped in a strange way, all facing the road. However, trees fall all the time, and the chances of it being Bigfoot are slim. Unless, of course, Bigfoot is real, right? In which case, this is where he is, Bluff Creek. And that stuff could be legit. I will say this, I felt, I heard those whoops, whatever those were. Could have been an owl, likely an owl. However, it's the middle of the day, it's noon. Maybe owls do, you know, wake up at some point and make some sounds, or some other bird sounds. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's all kinds of sounds in the forest. Weird birds that rarely make sounds. You hear something like that, you're like, what the hell was that? But it didn't quite sound like an owl. It sounded a little bit more like a whoop. And then shortly after that, I just started getting creeped out, like someone was following me, and I got chills. It's 90 degrees today, I had chills. Of course, you can freak yourself out, so this could just all be me being excited to be in Bigfoot country. And you know what? That's fine. If none of this is real anyways, it's exciting. So it doesn't matter. It gets you out in the woods, gets you camping, gets you connecting with nature. Whether Bigfoot exists or not, I totally believe in the magic of Bigfoot.